If any of you have any macho groups, have any people who are going to give us problems, I say dismantle them now.
After the primaries, there must be one party, one direction, one destiny.
Your responsibility, my dear aspirants, is to campaign on ideas, record, and vision, not on insult, threats, and division. But power does not come through division. Power comes through discipline. Power comes through unity. Power comes through sacrifice.
Yes, we call it Peace Pact. Oh yes, for the first time, Kennedy Agyapong Agyapong, Dr. Muhammadu Bawumia meeting after calling him a liar. Oh, one more share for the first time. After that, after that statement in one more share. Oh, Dr. Yosedu was present. Yewura Brandi Champo was present. Former General Secretary Engineer Kobne Agyapong was present. Nana Danko Kufuor was present. Council of Elders was chairman was present. Minority leader Honorable Afonyo Makins Osahin was present. General Secretary was present. And Pennyfo could them know the baby. One of my best in Cycrat and Nkomo and Komodi Bia Koso Omakasa. Oh, Pennyfo didn't come up at IGP was present. Na IGP kase bi na yem do so wate senkrofo bi e de mema kyerese wo mo ye macho men enti wo mo de macho men ba na wo kyere no kura kyerɛ mo se na soldier for na police for no they are better macho omo better macho men than that macho man na nkrofo bi krem so mo de ombeba enti wo mo famra no wo mo bo mekyerɛ mo macho men in advance na ebusua enkomo no mu no wo mo sensan ne peace pack no asumdue mu de be ye bia no wo te ase no me hunu se Kennedy Agyapong Agyapong penifoni bi atwa ne ho hia ne no din komo bi. I don't know of which, I don't know the conversation, but it was very peaceful.
The Elections Committee, the IGP and members of the Police Management Board, members of the Peace Council, presidential aspirants, Council of Elders, national officers, colleague leaders in Parliament, and members of the Minority Caucus, patrons and members of the media. Let me start off by saying that opposition is painful and lonely. We know this. Good friends don't pick up calls. They ignore us and they find new friends. We are living it. We feel it every day. And surely, none of us wants to remain there. We want power to serve, to transform lives, and to move Ghana forward. But power does not come through division. Power comes through discipline. Power comes through unity. Power comes through sacrifice. Let us therefore rise above anger. Let us rise above insults. Let us rise above short-term emotions for long-term victory. Let us protect the party that has given us voice, purpose, and hope. And when the contest is over, let us close ranks, lock arms, and march forward together, stronger, wiser, and united towards victory 2028. Our future depends on it. Our party depends on it. And Ghana is counting on us. Acting Chair, colleagues here gathered, political competition is a necessary and healthy feature of every democracy. However, it is how that competition is managed, particularly in moments of heightened ambition and strong emotion, that defines the maturity of a political party and ultimately the stability of the nation. Internal party elections are not merely contests among individuals. They are tests of institutional strength, discipline, and commitment to shared values. The choice to focus on peace at this stage is therefore both timely and commendable. Peace does not happen by accident. It is the product of deliberate leadership, clear rules, mutual respect, and a collective decision to place the long-term interests of the party and the country above short-term personal gain. Ghana's democracy has been sustained over the years because political actors across party lines have repeatedly demonstrated restraint in movements that could easily have descended into conflicts. This reputation has not come cheaply. It must not be taken for granted. Distinguished aspirants, your supporters look to you not only for vision and policy ideas, but for cues on conduct. The tone you set will be a tone that filters down to the grassroots. When leaders speak with restraint, supporters listen with restraint. I humbly, therefore, on behalf of the mighty 87 in Parliament, urge all aspirants to conduct their campaigns with civility, respect for internal regulations, and unwavering commitment to peaceful engagements. Disagreements are inevitable in any competitive process, but they must be managed through dialogue, established mechanisms, and the authority of the party's institutions, not through public confrontation, insinuation, or rhetorics that deepen divisions. Today is not an ordinary party ritual. It is a test of leadership and patriotism. This peace pact is not only about who wins on January 31st. It is about whether on 1st February and beyond, the NPP will still be strong, united, and credible in the eyes of Ghanaians. Ghana is watching a party that has, at its best, delivered significant reforms. Talk of the free SHS, talk of the health insurance, talk of the industrialization drive, 1D, 1F. Ghana is also watching a party that is anxious, polarized, and yearning for competent, honest, visionary leadership again. The stakes are higher than the ambitions of any single aspirant in this room. Unity and the cause of division. Let's note, the history of this tradition teaches us a simple truth. Whenever the NPP is united, it is formidable, and whenever it is divided, it bleeds, and Ghana pays the price. Remember the 1979 election, the PFP and the UNC. The rest we all know. Factionalism may energize internal contests, but it weakens the party's capacity to win national election and to govern effectively. And I was saddened hearing that the respected Professor Frimpong Boateng saying publicly that he did not vote in 2024 elections. This is what division can do to us. It's unfortunate. Unity is not a slogan. Unity is conduct. It is a discipline to disagree without destroying one another. The humility to accept outcomes we may not like, and the maturity to place the national project above personal disappointment. Every single insult traded, every unsubstantiated allegation, every attempt to demonize a rival today becomes a weapon in our opponent's hand tomorrow. At this delicate moment, the internal division heralding the 31st January contest are not confined within the walls of this party. They spill over into the nation's governance. A fractured NPP does not only risk losing another election, it weakens Parliament's ability, especially the mighty minority's ability, to stand as a bulwark against excesses, impunity, and bad governance. When leading figures are at war with each other, when energies are spent on intra-party skirmishes instead of national oversight, the NDC government and the majority in parliament are given a free pass. As your caucus in parliament is determined to repeat the industry of the J.H. Mensah 1997 group of 61, we must say that our ability to act with vigilance, cohesiveness, and fearlessness in holding the current administrative to account shall materially depend on the unity that we carry to do our work in Parliament. That duty will be undermined when indeed the internal contest is poisoned by mistrusts, name-calling, and threats of retribution. A house divided at the grassroots and in the leadership ranks cannot be a formidable opposition in Parliament. Every time party actors choose internal sabotage over solidarity, they blunt the sharp edge of the minority's oversight. When committees need unified backing to investigate corruption, when critical votes demand tight coordination, and when national crises call for clear, united voice, internal fractures translate into parliamentary weakness. Let no one deceive themselves. The divisions surrounding this primary go beyond party offices. They risk crippling the mighty minority's collective and effective ability to check the Mahama administration and the majority in Parliament. If this primary becomes a festival of insult instead of a contest of ideas, if it leaves behind bitterness instead of brotherhood, then the real victor will not be any aspirant on this stage. The real victor will be a complacent government and a comfortable majority who knows that a divided NPP cannot credibly challenge them on corruption, economic hardship, and institutional decay. As presidential hopefuls, you are not just candidates. You are standard bearers of the NPP tradition. Your words can inflame or calm. Your body language can reconcile or rupture. Before January 31st, your responsibility, my dear aspirants, is to campaign on ideas, record, and vision, not on insult, threats, and division. Your teams must be guided by discipline in their messaging and respect in their engagements. On 31st January, you must submit fully to the agreed processes, respect the Electoral committee, obey security directives, and ensure your supporters avoid intimidation, vote buying, and violence. After January 31st, your obligation is to accept the verdicts of the delegate with dignity, whether it favors you or not, and to work publicly and unequivocally with the elected flag bearer. A peace pact that ends with signatures, but not with changed behavior, is a betrayal of this moment and of Ghana. If this peace pact is to have meaning, it must translate into clear commitments. 1, refrain from personal attacks and character assassination, focusing instead on policies and competence and vision. To reject violence, intimidation, and any ethnic or regional incitement. To use internal party mechanisms, not public warfare, to resolve grievances. To stand together with elected flag bearer within days of the result, and to integrate talent from all camps into one campaign. Emphasis: integrate talent from all camps into one campaign. Ghana needs this party back, not as a wounded, quarreling organization, but as a renewed, united, serious alternative. The country does not need leaders who are prisoners of their egos. It needs leaders who are servants of the Republic. To conclude, let me respectfully and humbly, but with firmness, submit to our aspirants. Your greatest legacy will not be whether you became a flag bearer. It will be whether your conduct helped preserve and strengthen this tradition and empower the mighty minority to hold this government to account, to the leadership of our party, enforce these commitments fairly and firmly, to the grassroots, refuse to be used as instruments of division. Let this peace pact be more than ink and handshakes. Let it be a covenant with delegates, with this tradition, and with the people of Ghana. That is this party, that this party will be worthy of another opportunity to serve. And that united, it will equip the mighty minority to fearlessly defend the Republic of Ghana. Thank you so much for your kind audience, and God bless our party.
Thank you very much. That was the minority leader. Would now like to invite, finally, the former president of the Republic of Ghana, a slight change in the program. We'll go ahead with the second part of the program, and His Excellency would address us after that. So I'd now like to hand over to my colleague, Richard, as he manages and takes us through the very important part of the program, the Peace Pact document. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Tibudako. Thank you all. Very supportive and very strong messages have come. Please, can we be quiet? We're still advancing, and perhaps this is the most important part of the program. So let's manage the noise. The story we are writing here today has 3 legs, and the chairman of the committee told us that, and I'd like to reiterate that before we get into the signing. The peace pact that we signed today is an indication and affirmation by the candidates that they affirm the process has been free and fair thus far. It is also an act to indicate that they are committing to accept the results of the 31st poll, and also that they are affirming and committing themselves to supporting the eventual winner of the contest, the flag bearer of our party eventually. So this is a very solemn and a very important event, and to proceed, I'd like to invite our respected aspirants to take their seats on my right, and I will invite them in the order they appear on the ballot. Our first candidate or aspirant is the Honorable Kennedy Ohene Agyapong. The second person, the Honorable Dr. Brian Agyapong. His Excellency, the former Vice President, Dr. Bawumia. The Honorable Dr. Yao Osei Educhum. And at number 5, former General Secretary of our party, Engineer Kwabena Agyapong. So at this point, I would invite the chair of the committee to read the highlights of the compact that we're about to sign, and then we'll proceed to signing. Thank you very much. Media, please. So please, media, and for those who are standing up, I think we have indicated we want to have a very clean event. So please, let's minimize the disruptions, the movements, so that we can have a very clean event. Thank you very much. The chairman is on the floor.
Thank you very much. Some little guidance for the contestants. You will receive copies of the document each, and each one of you has his or her name. You will sign where your name is, the first one. Then you pass it on to the next one. Then the next person will sign his name on where you started, and it goes on to the next one, so that by the time it goes round, every one of you would have signed all the 5 copies that have been sent. Esteemed ladies and gentlemen, these are the terms of the Peace Pact. One, acknowledgement. We acknowledge that the process has been conducted in accordance with the principles of transparency, fairness, participatory or inclusive manner, with all the presidential candidates aspirants afforded full and equal opportunity to participate at every stage. We hereby formally acknowledge and expressly affirm satisfaction that we actively participated at every level of the process. 2, acceptance of presidential election results. We commit to accepting the results of the 31st January 2026 presidential primaries for the party, and we will respect the outcome irrespective of the results. We further reiterate and pledge to accept the outcome as a valid, authentic, and binding expression of the will of the delegates and the collective decision of the party. 3, promotion of peace and cohesion. We pledge to work together to maintain peace and cohesion within the party before, during, and after the primary. We will refrain from engaging in any actions or rhetoric that may disrupt party unity. 4, commitment. We pledge to remain committed and loyal to the New Patriotic Party, regardless of the outcome of the presidential election. We shall remain active, committed, and dedicated members of the party at all times and work hard to recapture power in 2028. 5, support for the winner. We commit to diligently and conscientiously work to support the winner of the party's presidential primaries, both during the 2028 elections and in securing a sweeping or working majority in the next parliament of the Republic of Ghana. The support will be aimed at achieving the overall success of the New Patriotic Party. Enforcement mechanisms. Any disputes or violations of this MOU will be subject to resolution within the party's established internal dispute resolution mechanisms in accordance with the party's constitution. This MOU shall be in effect from the date of signing until after the 2028 general election. Thank you very much. Shall we give copies to the contestant each? Kindly pass on to the next one. Each one is to get, yes. Kindly give one to each one of them, please. That's right.
Because if you know, easy man address that, explain multiple things.
We commit to accepting what this is. Is it I should repeat it or how?
But one
Should I come over?
address number 2. Because if you know, easy man address that, explain multiple things.
We commit to accepting what this is. Is it I should repeat it or how?
But one
Should I come over?
We have a list of witnesses who would also sign. The witnesses include His Excellency, the former President John Agyapong, who will sign his portion later because he's not able to be with us today. The former President, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, who the country misses, will sign as a witness. The acting chair of our party, Mr. Dankwa Smith-Bute, would sign as a witness. The General Secretary of the party, Mr. Justin Kodua Frimpong, will sign also as a witness. The chair of the Council of Elders, the Honorable Dr. Hackman Owusu Ajiman, will also sign as a witness. The former First Lady, the former Chief of Staff, our mother, the Honorable Akosia Frema Osei Opare, who is the chair of Council of Patrons, will also sign as a witness. And last but not least, the indefatigable Honorable Alexander Apenyo Markins will sign also as a witness. No, Mark. After the signing by the various witnesses that have been announced, the chair of the Presidential Election Committee will lead the affirmation again for all the candidates, and then will present a copy to each of them. That will follow shortly. Please indulge us. We are attempting to sign all of it and everybody to sign because the live copy will be presented to the candidates right here and we must make sure they're all signed. So please, in a few minutes, we'll all be done.
Address number 2. Address that explain multiple things. We commit to accepting God in this case. So that I should repeat it or how? Should I come over?
Live pictures from the Alisa Hotel here in Accra, where the new patriotic party, the NPP, is currently organizing a program where all 5 presidential aspirants are signing a peace pact ahead of the party's January 31st presidential primaries to elect who will lead the party going to the election of 2028. This particular event, put together by the National Elections Committee of the party, seeks to bring unity and commit the aspirants to unity before, during, and after the 31st January presidential primary. A number of speakers, raised a number of issues. The minority leader in Ghana's parliament, Alexander Apenyo Markins, who is present at this event, spoke about the need for the NPP to unite to recapture political power in the 2028 general election. The Inspector General of Police, Christian Tessenyoun, who is also present, and he gave a firm assurance that the Ghana Police Service is ready to ensure that there's security before, during, and after the election on January 31st. He says that, or indeed, he won the political party, which is the NPP or any of the come to the centers with macho men, and that the police people are more macho than them. Let's go back and hear what the Director of Communications for the party, Richard Hengba, is saying.
Worked with you to the extent that none of you has an issue with the work we have done. We are handing over the rest of the election to two national institutions which we each have confidence in. However, if there is evidence at any polling station that anything was done or tolerated that affects the integrity of the election at that polling station, we will take steps to annul the results from that polling station. That assurance, on behalf of the committee, I want to give it to you. We gave that assurance before the Electoral Commission. The EC chair herself said so, that if there's any evidence brought to her to show that any misconduct has affected the integrity of any particular poll, that particular poll will be annulled. So be assured, if we see anything that you think affects, please bring it to our attention. We'll investigate, and if we affirm, we will take the necessary steps to protect the integrity of the election. Thank you very much. We are very grateful.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. So the process is almost done. The chair will present the signed copies to the candidates, signifying their commitment and affirmation that the process thus far has been free and fair, and that they have committed themselves to accepting the results of the 31st elections, and that they have committed themselves to support the eventual winner of the polls. Thank you very much. That was a beautiful exercise. They stand today as competitors, but their presence here and act shows that they are committed to the higher act and duty of protecting peace and unity of our party. Thank you very much. I'll invite Dr. Tibunako to carry on with the rest of the program.
Thank you very much. Please, the photographers, can you move back a little bit? And if we can have some silence, we'd now like to invite the former president of the Republic of Ghana, our own Nana Abubanka Akufo-Addo.
Acting chairman of our great party, minority leader in parliament, the Inspector General of Police, the former Chief of Staff, members of the National Peace Council, members of the National Executive Committee of the party, the chairman and members of the Presidential Election Committee, distinguished presidential aspirants, chairman of the Council of Elders, honorable elders, and members of the party, fellow patriots, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for the invitation, and I'm honored to be here at a moment that is significant, not only for the new patriotic party, but also for Ghana's democratic journey. Let me begin by congratulating our national officers, the chairman and members of the Presidential Election Committee, and all who have worked diligently to organize these primaries coming up in just 9 days' time. You are overseeing a process involving the largest number of delegates in the history of our party. That achievement speaks to the growth, depth, and democratic maturity of the new patriotic party. We're gratified by the presence of the Inspector General of Police and his senior officers at this ceremony and by the undertakings he has given us today. They are reassuring signals that the proceedings of 31st January 2026 will be conducted in peace and security. IGP, we count on you and your men and women to do a good job. Ladies and gentlemen, our party did not begin today, even though a handful of us were privileged enough to be around in its early days. It did not begin yesterday. Its roots go back to 1947 with the formation of the United Gold Coast Convention, UGCC, from which the Dankwa Dongo Busia tradition proudly draws its lineage. At that founding moment, a clear and principled decision was taken. Leadership will be determined by the ballot, not by force, intimidation, or intrigue. George Alfred Park Grant was unanimously elected president and chairman. J.P. Dankwa and R.S. Blair became vice presidents. R.A. Awona Williams served as treasurer. The other members of that inaugural executive committee were Edward Akufo-Addo, Emmanuel Obeche Bilante, J.W. de Graaf Johnson, John Sybil, and Kwabena Kesso. They were men of strong views and strong personalities, but they were united by discipline, mutual respect, patriotism, and an unshakable belief in orderly democratic process. From that beginning emerged a lesson that still guides us today. While the ballot must decide who becomes what, the true test of our internal democracy lies in the conduct of winners and losers alike, before, during, and after the contest. That lesson was reaffirmed in 1992 after the first presidential primaries of the New Patriotic Party. Once the party chose Professor Albert Eduboahene as our flag bearer, all the other aspirants, including Dr. Kofi Jane Selby, Mr. John Agyapong Kufuor, and Dr. Kwame Safo-Edu, closed ranks and supported him. I was campaign manager of the flag bearer at the time, and I saw firsthand what unity meant, how discipline, sacrifice, and collective purpose strengthened the party, even under the most difficult conditions of the time. That spirit must guide us still. Fellow patriots, a party that cannot manage victory with humility or defeat with dignity cannot expect to win the confidence of the Ghanaian people. As we are reminded, a house divided against itself cannot stand. In such a house is certainly not attractive to the electorate. Ghanaians are watching not only what we say, but also how we behave. I know the campaign has generated some heat among aspirants and supporters. I believe I'm qualified to say that we have seen it all before. Do not be discouraged by the excesses. The thirst for power and the unity required to win power must combine to motivate us to choose fraternity over factionalism once the primaries are over. Permit me another personal reflection. In 1998, I contested the presidential primaries and came second to John Agyapong Kufuor, subsequently the second president of the Fourth Republic. When the contest ended, I did not hesitate I became his chief campaigner. That decision was not about convenience. It was about conviction. The unity we demonstrated then helped deliver the first historic presidential victory of the NPP in 2000. And when years later, it became my turn, beginning in 2008, I received the same level of loyalty and support from those who had once competed against me. That tradition of fraternity carried us through difficult moments and enabled us to win and serve God. This is the inheritance we must protect. We should never forget that the ideology of the new patriotic party remains deeply attractive to the majority of Ghanaians. Our commitment to individual liberty and the respect for human rights, private enterprise, the rule of law, human development in the society of shared prosperity resonates across this country. When we falter, it is rarely because our ideas have failed. This peace pact, this commitment pact, is therefore not a mere ceremony. It is a solemn covenant, a commitment that ambition will not override fraternity, that competition will not descend into hostility, and that once the ballot has spoken, the party will move forward as one. To the aspirants gathered here today, your conduct will shape the moral tone of the NPP and the future of our country. Your supporters, the grassroots, and the youth of this party are watching you. History will judge not only who wins, but also how all of you conduct yourselves. Let me be clear. The NPP is bigger than any individual. No ambition, grievance, or faction is greater than the elephant. Leadership contests must never weaken the collective cause. Unity is not optional. Unity is not a slogan. Unity is a strategic necessity for victory. So I charge all of you, this peace pact must not only be signed, it must be lived. Over the remaining days, let your campaigns be firm but fair, competitive but respectful. Ours is a tradition that rejects fear, insults, intimidation, and bitterness. Loyalty to individuals must never supersede loyalty to the party. After the primaries, there must be one party, one direction, one destiny. Let me end with confidence on a positive note. I have no doubt that the new patriotic party remains the best vehicle with the best ideas for Ghana's future. Our duty is to keep that vehicle united, disciplined, and worthy of the trust of the Ghanaian people. If we honor our history, respect one another, and put party and country above self, the future of the NPP and of Ghana herself will indeed be bright. I thank you, and I wish us all a peaceful, dignified, and unified process. May God bless the NPP and our homeland Ghana, and make both great and strong. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. The chairperson for the event, our acting national chairman, would now give us the closing remarks.
Your Excellency, the former President, thank you so much. IGP, Peace Council, Council of Elders, my executives, my party members present, aspirants, Presidential Election Committee, ladies and gentlemen, I'm so happy today for hearing what the IGP said, meaning there will be peace during and after the elections. Thank you, IGP. I wish all the 5 aspirants best of luck. I know Saturday coming will be the day of the elections, and you know that one of you will become the winner. And as my father said, we are one party. We don't have any party apart from NPP, no patriotic party. I thank you, all of you, for coming.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Chairman. Before the closing prayer, we'd just like to take the official photographs so that we are able to do that in an organized manner. Because we have dignitaries here, and we know that if we do the closing prayer, there will be confusion because then we've ended. The next 5 minutes, we'll take official photographs, we'll say the closing prayer, and then we can finish with the media press briefing. So we'd like to invite the 5 aspirants to stand up. Please say where you are. And yes, I'll give the mic to the chairperson of the General Secretary to tell us the manner in which everyone is standing for the photos.
So what we do is that we ask the aspirants to come in front and hold your hands. We want you to stand in front of the table and hold your hands. Yes, you can stand in front of us, here, in front of us. Then you face the camera. Please move back. Please move back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you hold your hands. You hold your hands. You hold your hands.
And as I told you earlier, it was very peaceful. Very peaceful. I can't end this. One more question. IGP Edin Komo in Penny Photo Duanoa Akasa. Alexander Alfred Honorable Minority Leader, Osahin, he could be funny sometimes. And this time he was very funny. Or say, living in opposition is very painful. You call brothers on pick. Now Ghanaians want NPP back. But you wanting NPP back, it was say it shows sign of peace. It was a sign of peace. It did. And you know, catch the 5 aspirants say the obey we need be an phone and support. And yet, said ye, Omonkai 1972, you see here with 62 minority in parliament. The course near the woman Kai Sadiano. Miss Sadia name in Nihontino. It was one Monkai. No one say NPP a greater party than all parties in Ghana. And then Achia ne muye. Oh yes, where am I go quick baby? Omu na be kasai. Mami Fremo Parry, first lady, I can say, first chief of staff, Oba, female chief of staff, one also be kasai. One more din komo, ebusia it was very peaceful. Enti minamo wianes and minantis ye boko. Enti one more question sign, and I say, ye yempe shoot down, be an incomo biate. The entire music showdown is a terms ya by you see. Mama showdown NPP for penny for this time no showdown. IGP I sure Ghana for say on Bema about 2 years special NPP I assume you enteno ano sa na tie what I remember so na subscribe like no was ya share we no na ya hwe please as I'm just saying ya hwe I share enteno ba no subscribe like no was ya share to the people out there me din jodman ko baba na kofi from Santiago what I